Hey everybody, what's up? Jake here. Welcome back to Movie Smoothie, where today we're talking about Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I am very excited to get into this. I don't know if any of you know this, but the original Beavis and Butthead film is one of my favorite all-time animated films. There's just something about it that is really special to me, and this one was also a very good time. Now, before we get into the review though, of course, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more horror content is usually what I say on my other page, KillJoy Jake, but here, we talk about literally everything else. So make sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I would appreciate it. You'll get a free smoothie if you do too. So, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is a 2022 film described as blasting off on a NASA space mission in 1998, mischievous best pals Beavis and Butthead time travel to the year 2022. As the NSA and US government try to track them down, the clueless teens do their best to adjust to modern life. This was just released on June 23rd, which was literally like 2 days ago, and I just had an absolute blast watching this. This was definitely worth the Paramount Plus subscription. I can't say that about literally anything else on that site, but this one was fun. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's very expectantly dumb. It's very enjoyable. But what else were you expecting from a Beavis and Butthead film, especially one that's sci-fi based? Were you expecting it to be super intelligent and crazy and smart like Rick and Morty? No, come on. They they definitely play off of some themes with Rick and Morty, which we'll get into a little later. But this is a much dumber, sillier sci-fi kind of story, which I was expecting nothing less from them, of course. Mike Judge's humor is just so effortlessly funny, and it's really shown here. I mean, he's been doing these voices for like 30 years. 30 years he's been doing Beavis and Butthead. Think about that. That's when that short came out, was 1992, the frog baseball thing, which ultimately led to Beavis and Butthead. It's crazy. It's crazy how long he's been doing this, and like I said, how effortlessly funny he is doing it too. I mean, you hear, you start hearing that, you just start laughing because you know exactly what's gonna come. So it's always great. It's always hilarious. Speaking of that, I feel like they played a lot of their old favorites very well. Like for example, the cornholio joke. You have Beavis taking some pills in a prison and just going absolutely nuts, which I always think is really fun. I am cornholio. I need pee-pee for my bunghole. Okay, that one I can do pretty well. The other one, not so much. but there you go. Yeah, I love cornholio. Very, very silly. I'm very glad they touched on that. They didn't. It was one of those things where I feel like they didn't have to, but I'm really glad they did because it's just so iconic. It's so silly and so ridiculous. You also have a plot line that's very similar to Beavis and Butthead Do America, where it's Beavis and Butthead. They're basically just mindlessly going through this plot, not even really thinking about it, and they just get out of it somehow. Like it's very goofy, and they do it very well, just like how they did in the first movie. And it's just so enjoyable to watch characters who are just like mindless to the actual plot be the star of it. That's what's so fun about both of these movies, is that you actually have a pretty damn decent plotline running through both of these movies that's like kind of actiony, kind of serious, but then you have Beavis and Butthead at the front of it, which is what makes it so funny to me. And it's also very different from the show. Like in the show, it was mostly like featuring a lot of like the music videos from MTV and all that. But here you have just a silly plotline with the characters. And I did think it was a little weird that they didn't really play too much into like the musical aspect of it. Like, I guess you have Children in the Grave playing at that one part, which is awesome. I love, like, that's actually one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs too. Another reason why this is just seriously a great sequel, I think. So at least they did something with it. That's not exactly like a 90s song though. I was kind of expecting some 90s music in here, and it wasn't as crazy as the first one. That was my one thing. I did appreciate, speaking of playing a lot of old favorites, they do kind of have a little drip of social commentary in here discussing white privilege, which is something I never thought Beavis and Butthead would ever explore as in a movie, which is interesting. But I think it's done really well. I think it's very smart how they do it, even though it's actually very dumb. It's hilarious how like idiots from 1998 would go about that when they hear about it today from people today who are like basically how they explain it and then how they go about like reacting to it. It's very funny and very like, oh yeah, this is so similar to how people react to that nowadays, which is unfortunate. But yes, so I think it was smart. I think it was done well, even though it's kind of a weird thing to have in a Beavis and Butthead movie. I'm sure there's going to be people so upset that they would implement social commentary into Beavis and Butthead. Oh God, why would they do this? Oh, relax. Like, it's one little joke. Jeez. Smart Beavis and Butthead, by the way, were maybe my favorite new joke of the entire thing. Every single time they popped on screen, I was cracking up. It was just a really fun juxtaposition, which is something I feel like a lot of the humor from Beavis and Butthead comes from, and it's always done very well. When you have Smart Beavis going, yes, humorous, like that's so funny to me. I don't know. It's such a simple thing, but it's so effortlessly funny. Once again, Mike Judge's humor, like I said, just always gets a chuckle out of me no matter what. And this was definitely one of the best running gags, especially where it goes at the ending, which is so funny and so dumb. Yeah, the juxtaposition of the intense plotline with Beavis and Butthead doing something stupid is just always enjoyable to watch. I mean, you have like the ending scene, like I was just talking about. You have this character Serena, who's kind of been like the focus of the actual story going on, and you have Beavis in love with her, basically, and then Smart Beavis swings in and then like actually gets to score for the first time in all of Beavis and Butthead history. And the guy actually gets a medal amongst his peers of other Beavises and Buttheads from other universes, which is maybe my favorite scene in all of this entire show canon thing. They also kind of try to dive into the lore of Beavis and Butthead, but I don't care. Like, I don't care at all. Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, hey, this is kind of cool, but oh my god, yeah, no, it does not matter at all. There are some shows where like I was dying to know like behind the scenes or like background stuff about a character, like Rick and Morty, for instance. That last season 5 was a big deal for me. I absolutely loved learning about Rick's backstory a little more. But with Beavis and Butthead, man, I just don't care. It's like Scrat from Ice Age. Like, I don't need a backstory for the guy. That's basically what Beavis and Butthead is. Like, the entire thing is basically like following Scrat around, and he doesn't have anything to do with the plot, but you kind of just want to see him go after that acorn. That's how I feel about Beavis and Butthead. I kind of want to continuously watch them go after women and trying to score and all that, but they're never going to do it. And that's what's so funny about it. And I'll keep coming back and watching, even if it never happens. I think that's the thing about it that's always so funny to me. So I really enjoyed Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. A few other things I want to talk about is the character of Serena, who actually has a very funny arc. She's running for like governor or something. It doesn't matter. And she accidentally she thinks she kills Beavis and Butthead back in 1998, but when they come into the future in 2022, and she finds out they're alive, she goes on like this this absolute murder rage and like has to kill them and all this. It's very crazy and very silly. And I don't know, I just found it hilarious, especially that she ends up going to this other universe with Smart Beavis. That's the ending of her arc, which once again is just so stupid, so funny, it's so enjoyable and ridiculous to watch. I had a very good time with this. My one complaint, the one thing that I have wrong with this, which it's not that big of a deal. It's really not, but I'm going to discuss it anyways. In the original film, one of my all-time favorite scenes in animation history is Beavis and Butthead tripping out in the desert to that White Zombie song. That is one of the coolest things I have ever seen in animation. I don't know, I've never been so impressed by weird, disgusting animation before, and that is just like the perfect example of something I would want to do animation-wise. And they don't really do that here. Like, yes, you have Beavis like on the pills and going crazy doing the cornholio thing, but I was really hoping when they went into the black hole, you would have like kind of a trippy sequence where it's like them just going nuts and like transforming into different characters and creepy things and all that. You totally could have done that there. Just like a 1-minute little sequence of them going nuts to some kind of like Rob Zombie song. Look, I don't know, man. There's a lot of really good Rob Zombie songs as of lately. I mean, I don't know if you guys listen to his music or not, but he has this song about fucking in a UFO. That is the title is something along those lines from a newer album. That would have been perfect. Like, imagine a really trippy animation sequence with Beavis and Butthead to that song. Like, that would have been perfect for this film, I think. It's my only one like missed opportunity I feel with this film, but that is just an extreme personal preference of mine, just because I'm enamored to that scene from the original. But those are just my thoughts, though. Of course, like I said, I love Beavis and Butthead. I can talk about it all day about how silly and ridiculous it is. But what do you guys think about the latest Beavis and Butthead installment? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Movie Smoothie and my main channel, KillJoy Jake, if you want to see updates on horror movies. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and peace out, everybody.